Hello, everyone, and welcome to TikTok Unpacked. As people start coming in, drop where you're tuning in from in the chat. I'm currently in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where it's oddly 70 degrees. So I don't know if I'm happy or concerned about that, but we've got LA in the chat. Ooh, Ireland, Arizona, very cool. Awesome. So yeah, as people are coming in, I will set the stage. I'm so excited to get into our sessions today. We've got experts from across our partner ecosystem here to share everything you need to know about launching and growing your brand on TikTok Shop. I will share my screen. Awesome. So a few housekeeping items before we get started today. We'll be giving away prizes to attendees asking questions throughout the day, so definitely stay active in the chat. We'll be announcing winners a few times throughout the day. If you have questions for our speakers after their sessions, head over to the virtual booths tab to connect with them. There are some special offers and discounts from our partners in the booth, so definitely check those out. And with that, I'm really excited to introduce our first session with Ishan, the director of the Powered By program here at ShipBob. That's a program that actually enables our Fulfilled by TikTok operations. And Brian, the founder and CEO of Little Elf Products and one of our Fulfilled by TikTok merchants. So Brian and Ishan, if you want to join me on the stage. Awesome. So I can pass things over to you.
Thanks, Lindsay. Good morning, everyone. As Lindsay said, Milwaukee is maybe 70 degrees. Chicago is absolutely freezing, but good morning nonetheless. I am very excited to introduce Brian Perla, founder and CEO of Little Elf Products, for our session today. And I'm excited to get into some of the questions that we have prepared for Brian, and hopefully that's informative. For some context, Brian started his revolutionary gift wrapping company in 2018 when he saw a need to develop a product design specifically for cutting wrapping paper. Not gonna lie, it's pretty ingenious. Brian's a Stanford University graduate of 2022, and now dedicates himself entirely to steering his company towards continuous innovation and expansion. And Little Elf's remarkable growth over the past 3 years stems from a lot of its robust social media presence and adept utilization of these platforms to enhance all of these e-commerce sales. And finally, of course, as Lindsay mentioned, Little Elf utilizes ShipBob's Fulfilled by TikTok program to fulfill all of these orders coming in from their TikTok shop. So Brian, thank you for joining us today, and I'll quickly kick it over to you for a quick introduction. We can dive in from there.
Yeah, it's awesome to be here, and I'm excited for the talk to kind of unpack literally what Little Elf is on TikTok and how that can apply to other brands and other companies. So yeah, Ishan covered it pretty well, and this graph covers it as well. I started the project as a high school. I started the company as a high school project, and through some connections at Stanford and through some connections in the e-commerce world, was able to launch it off the ground and had the opportunity to go on Shark Tank, and obviously that creates a lot of exposure. And then it was kind of this perfect pairing of a really demonstratable product as social media was growing. And so TikTok has been a platform where we have used it we used the platform to demonstrate the product, and now it's awesome to be able to sell on it and benefit from all the views that we get. So let's hop into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you talked a little bit about the brand and how you got started here, Brian, but I'm curious, what does ELF stand for? Or does it stand for anything?
Yeah, so obviously Little Elf as a whole, we just want to make gift wrapping fun and easy, and we want to be that helpful hand during the gift wrapping process. And we want to be like the company that you look towards to get your helpful products, make gift wrapping easier. But ELF is capitalized because it stands for easy, lightweight, and fast. And that's our signature product that you see being demonstrated here. So that's a little nugget of Easter egg right there.
I love it. Easy, lightweight, and fast. It hopefully will make wrapping a little bit more fun for us this holiday season in the next few months. Cool. Brian, of course, as we've evolved in the e-commerce industry, a lot of these strategies on the online channel have become very important for D2C brands to reach customers from multiple channels, right? When you were evaluating new sales channels, what made you choose TikTok?
Yeah, so we were already very present on TikTok. This is a product that you really do need to see to understand it, and that has its pros and cons. So like in-store shopping is really difficult for us because you see it on the shelf and you might not really fully understand it right away. But if you've seen a 7-second video right before you went into the store, that is extremely beneficial. So we were on almost all social media platforms that had visual content. And so TikTok, we were already on. We had maybe 150,000 followers before TikTok Shop launched. And so it was a natural progression for us. I had seen some other brands, especially Shark Tank brands, which are just so visually captivating, had success on it before. And so I, rolled it out a little slow with some hesitation of, is this actually legit? Is this gonna prove to be really easy, really difficult? And then that was over the summer of 2023. And then that kind of a beta rollout, if you can think about it as, really shifted into kind of firing on all cylinders going into the holiday season of 2023. So partnering with ShipBob and TikTok and, being able to set up that supply channel like that quickly is quite impressive. From the first product ever being sold on it into the summer, and then going into the holiday season and pushing 70, 80,000, units is amazing. So yeah, that's what kind of encouraged me to go on TikTok Shop.
Yeah, what an incredible story, especially summer to holiday. We witnessed it all, of course, since we're powering that through ShipBob. And I see a question, Brian, from Thomas that I think is a good segue into this. Thomas asks, would love to learn how ShipBob can help launch on TikTok channel initiative this year. What integrations to ERP and CRMs can we look for the best ShipBob TikTok experience? Would you share some insight on how you got started with TikTok? Of course, you were a ShipBob customer prior, but what was that experience like for you?
Yeah, so in when we first launched our Kickstarter, I'll kind of go back to the roots. We first launched our Kickstarter. We wanted to raise $18,000. Ended up raising $130,000, and in 45 days, we sold 12,000 products. So this was still just an idea from my bedroom, basically. So we needed to partner with a company like ShipBob to like legitimately get all these products out to our customers. So yes, we were a customer or a partner of TikTok or partner with ShipBob since 2018, all the way through Shark Tank, helped us through our website, and today we still do Shopify through them. So my purpose in shifting or using ShipBob for TikTok was we simply couldn't handle that type of distribution. I mean, 80,000 units in a short period of 5 weeks during the holiday season is something that a professional fulfillment facility is set up to handle and not a small business. And so that's where we really turned to ShipBob and was like, we need help. We cannot, we can't get through the holiday season without this. And it wasn't a new transition for us. And I think that's important. We had already been partners with them and been working with them. So we had the confidence to be like, okay, this isn't a new company doing this. This is an established organization that has the strategies, has the fulfillment. There's not going to be any hiccups, because if there were, they would have realized that years before when they were first starting. So although it's a new system in its relationship with TikTok, it's not a new system in the back end supply chain of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brian, for the group, you're currently doing Fulfill by TikTok, where you're sending all of the products via the TikTok platform, and TikTok handles the fulfillment side of it, right? Do you have any insight on that experience?
Yeah. So TikTok Shop is modeled very similar to Amazon, Fulfilled by Amazon. And so I'm very familiar with Fulfilled by Amazon, and I know a lot of businesses are. And so that transition, you send pallets, you send freight, and then once it arrives, you can kind of breathe and you can sleep at night knowing that TikTok, ShipBob has it. Because I think that's like a big concern as well, is where is this being stored? Because you're really entrusting ShipBob with your customer, how your customers perceive you. And I think that's like an important thing to any brand, whether big or small. And so we know that throughout all of our channels, whether it's our website, whether it's TikTok, we know that once the products get to the warehouse, before they get to the warehouse, it's on me. If something happens, it's on me. But once they get to the warehouse, we know that they're handled, and orders that come in that same day or can be shipped out. And so that was like our biggest and most important thing, was that going viral on TikTok is a good thing. And when you don't have a fulfillment strategy and you don't have a effective and efficient strategy, it can be a bad thing, because then back orders happen. And then, you go to sleep one night and you wake up with 10 million views and you wake up with 1,000 orders. Okay, that's a long day, but then you're going to then wake up the next day with 2,000 orders, and it can snowball into potentially something that's bad. So we wanted to have insurance that wasn't going to happen. And we wanted to ensure that going viral maintained to be like a really good thing, and capitalize on that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. I love that sentiment. Going viral is actually a good thing if you have that strategy, that fulfillment strategy in place. And I always like to think of that fulfillment strategy as your supply chain department, right? That you have that taken care of, which I think brings me to my next question. You talked about you had this insurance with the fulfillment strategy. What did that insurance actually allow you to do? Because now you didn't have to worry about fulfillment. Where did you invest your time besides that then during the season to expand your business?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you never know when you take time away from something else, if you bracket that time off, what it's going to allow you to do. But I think what it allowed me to do this year was really focus back on like creativity and content creation. We are a high volume posting company. We post maybe 10, 12, 15 times a week on TikTok alone. And so when you do need to fulfill by yourself, or you do need to do it out of your garage, which is what I was doing for a little bit, it takes away from that. So you get these sweeping, like up and down in terms of consistencies of sales. And you go viral, and then you stop posting because you need to fulfill those orders. And then you stop posting, so your videos start to decline. And then you have no sales and you're sitting around, so then you start posting a lot again, and then you go viral. And so it's this like continuous, just, you can never get caught up, basically. And so now what we're focused on is, our biggest goal is to have inventory at ShipBob and have enough that we can go super viral, and that we can get inventory back to ShipBob in enough time for us to continue going viral. So it has basically just leveled it off and allowed us to focus our time a lot more on content creation and good content, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that is awesome. And talking about content creation, I know you've had a lot of success with viral videos, and not to get on the Kansas City and Taylor Swift train right now, but one of your videos was featuring there was I believe a rapping video featuring Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. So I'm curious, Brian, there's so much content now. You're putting out a lot of content. How is your strategy on TikTok different than other channels, and how do you ensure consistency across all of these multiple channels that you're managing and trying to grow?
Sure. Yeah, I think TikTok is when we think about posting on TikTok, we never think about making an ad. We never think about, okay, we want to make this video and we want an ROI of X. We don't think about that. We think about making helpful, useful content that people get to the end of the video and they're not like, oh, I was just sold something. They say, oh, I was, they have a net positive after basically watching the video. And so I think that that's important. We make content. I've never said to anyone that we make ads on TikTok. We don't make ads on TikTok. We make content. And I think that's a really important distinguishing. And that allows us to, make videos like you're seeing on the screen right now, which is featuring a fun, a kind of culturally relevant topic, and being able to hop on trends like that is also super important. So to summarize that, I guess I would say we make content, we teach people how to gift wrap, we demonstrate our product in 7 seconds, we give people tips and tricks, and we are always engaging in the comment section to answer. Some people have questions. Does it cut diagonally? Does it trim the paper? Can you use it? How long does it last? And so actually being able to have your fingertips on the pulse of your business through TikTok is super important. And constant feedback, constant interaction, which is super valuable and allows us to pivot and change and alter really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brian, if I'm taking away two things up until this point in the conversation, it's going viral is good if you have your fulfillment strategy, and then two, you make content and not ads. So I love those two. Those stick out.
Sure. Yeah.
Really well. I know there are some questions around this also. So I think this question may answer some of the folks' questions on the chat. But what advice would you give to brands that want to get started on TikTok Shop? Any strategies you wanna share or recommend that have been successful for Little Elf?
Yeah, I think our answer to that, or my answer to that, is a little bit different because we were so prevalent on TikTok before TikTok Shop became a thing. But I think it really gets back to how you position yourself. TikTok is a storytelling app. You have to tell meaningful stories that resonate with people, and whether that's your innovation story, which is what we talk a lot about. It was a school project, and now it's in tens of thousands of stores and one of the best-selling TikTok Shop products, over the holiday season. It was on Shark Tank. And so we have a range of kind of topics that we can share that connect to the product but aren't about the product. So I think that it's really how you storytell, and whether that is, you prototyping your invention, you sourcing your invention, you just talking about all these different things, and I think that's super important. I think engaging is overlooked sometimes on social media, but is super important. You see some really, really good brands, like what occurred with Stanley over the summer with that car incident. That was something that they really leaned into, and it as in terms of like a social media content strategy, they didn't make any content, but they engaged with it, and they kind of fed off that. So I think on a smaller scale, your comment section is important, and what people are saying is important. It's, you can think of it as like instant reviews. What are people thinking about? Do they think it should be a different color? Do they think it's a little bit, awkward to use? So I think that storytelling is super important. And then on the like logistic side of TikTok Shop, I'm a big fan of Fulfilled by TikTok. Not just because I'm sitting here with you, but because we couldn't have done what we did and making TikTok Shop a legitimate platform without ShipBob this year. To ship 80,000 units or 80,000 customers is really difficult. I mean, we're a small business out of the garage type of scene. And so having that freedom and that ability to not worry about that, have that safety net, have that insurance policy, however you want to look at it, allows you to create content. It allows you to, tell your story, not sell your product, but tell your story. And if we look at sales as a consequence of creating, buzz around our product. So that's how we look at our strategy, at least.
Yeah, very cool. And the sentiment is very mutual. We love working with you and the team, and of course, it's been amazing to see your growth continue throughout the course of time. Brian, you talked about storytelling. What is one of your favorite videos for the group here that we can all go watch after, and any engaging that you did during that?
So I think our biggest video right now, which I'll go pin right now to the top so people can find it. I think it has 27 million views. It was this year. And it was just me in my basement, in my office, talking about the invention. I just said that I held up my first drawing of it, which was on a lined piece of paper in high school. I remember sitting in class. I just drew it. And then I talked about that my high school had a 3D printer, and I learned how to 3D model and print something. And then kind of all the way through Shark Tank and now where we are now. And so again, I didn't say buy the product. I said, this is a story that you might be interested in. And I'm looking in the chat and someone's talking about like the affiliate program. And I think that that's somewhere that was super helpful for us as well. I think we had 2,000 creators tag our product, and it's this big snowball effect of once you kind of can get in that ecosystem of creators wanting to post it, and if you create incentives through commissions and whatnot like that, then they share their story, but they don't share your story. They share their story. And I think that's really important. Reactions, and when they use your product for the first time, or they receive it and it's an unboxing, your quality of product is super high. Or if it's an apparel product, they try it on and if it's good compared to maybe other things that they're shopping online with. So I think that the affiliate program with TikTok is going to be a huge focus for us in 2024, because yes, we're sharing my story, and my story is always evolving, and Little Elf story is always evolving. But what really matters to people is a lot of other people's stories about how they're using the product and if it was beneficial to them. And so, and as a business owner, that's really nice to see as well. And like equally as gratifying is as in getting views on your own page, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that is fantastic. I think it's the compounding effect of storytelling, right? Like you said earlier, and hold me to it. Maybe this winter I'll create my first TikTok reviewing the Little Elf.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Brian, I think one of the questions on the chat was around how do you manage the volume of these posts, right? Is this supported by creative agencies? Is this mostly you in-house? Can you share a little bit about that and any advice for the folks watching?
This is us in-house. It's a very small team. It's myself and 2 other people, and we we've done it for so long that it's almost like second nature. We know what works. But no, I think we keep our creative so close to us because the stories that you're telling have to be so specific, if that makes sense. While it, and even like some of the smallest things about it are very different than like an ad agency might do. Like for example, the video that you see on your screen, we don't really talk about the product at all. You can see that we're not when we zoom, we don't zoom in on the product. We zoom in on what we feel is the most important part about that video, which is the Travis Taylor, aspect of it. So so I think that like we like to keep everything in house because as an entrepreneur, you know your business best. You know how to tell that story the best, and that's what people care about. They don't. Social media is so great because there is a person behind it. It's not this, info at littleelfproducts.com or this like, this. It's not this support page where you send an email off and you never hear back. It's not this like black space. There's actually a person behind it, and most of the time that is me either commenting back or responding back. And so I think that that's the glory of social media, and specifically TikTok, is that you put a face and you put a real person behind where people are shopping.
Very, very, very cool. I know we're coming close to time, Brian. I have maybe a couple questions for you, but the second to last maybe is what are your plans for TikTok Shop in the new, I guess it's not very new year anymore, but in 2024, any new features or strategies you're excited about or you're planning to implement?
Yeah, so I mean, TikTok has made it really easy to add products and bundle products. So that's something that we're looking at. I think two-prong, I would say the influencer is what we're looking at, and growing that and really making partners of some of those people. And so throughout the entire gift wrapping process, you can use Little Elf. And so we want to capture that through our influencer partners with commissions and whatnot like that. And then on the other side of it, growing our SKUs and really diving into this idea of like celebration happens year round. So to tease, over the summer, we're going to come out with a birthday colored Little Elf. And while it functions the same as our holiday edition or our holiday collection, which is green and red, I think it kind of diversifies and brings, again, new content. How do you actually create a product that is a new color? Like right now, I'm actually at my manufacturing facility figuring out, all right, what is the right color? How are we going to fulfill this? And so through that, content is created in everything. And so that's a story that we can tell. And then we can also just tell the stories of celebration. And I think that that's really what Little Elf, while it does make gift wrapping fun and easy, that happens throughout all celebration, whether it's birthdays, whether it's Valentine's Day with Travis and Taylor, whether it's, the holiday season. So that's where we're looking at. And then with adding SKUs, TikTok and ShipBob is making it easy to do virtual bundles. So you don't actually have to have 8 different SKUs. You can have 3 that are bundled in 5 different ways. So that's what we're really looking forward to. And we had so much success with the first year. Literally the first year of TikTok Shop was so successful. So we can't wait to see what the second year brings. And yeah.
Fantastic. We're excited for that. And of course, we're here to power that growth. My last question for you, Brian, what is your favorite place to shop for gift wrapping paper?
My favorite place to shop for gift wrapping paper, I don't know. I think that's such a personal preference. Some people like the high quality, thick paper, and some people like getting from small boutiques. So I have to get back to you on that. Maybe it'll be a TikTok. I'll make a TikTok on it.
There we go.
Stay tuned. That's a perfect transition. I'll make a TikTok on reviewing. Maybe that's a whole new segment. Part 1, review wrapping paper with me. There we go. That's
I
Ishan,
love it.
you've got a future in TikTok creators.
Yeah, there.
So
Well, thank you so much, Brian. I really appreciated the conversation, and I'm sure the community here watching also did so. So thank you so much for taking the time, and good luck with all the future endeavors.
thank you. It was awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brian. If you have any questions for Brian, you can go ahead and DM him in the messaging tab of your chat box. But we'll see you over in our next session where Samantha will actually take us through how ShipBob powers fulfillment for TikTok. So we'll meet you over at the next session. And thank you again, Brian.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brian. Bye.